Kakarot is now training under Whis, but so are the other Saiyans, although Kakarot found something new that's interesting to him, something that's going to affect his training going forward. We'll cover that and more in this 9th part of What If the Red Ribbon Army Raised Goku. Not long after the recent tournament, Kakarot asked Beerus for a pretty interesting favor. He wants to go to Universe 6. Why? To see the Saiyans? Nope, to see Hit. Immediately Beerus is a little confused and also a bit angry because why Hit of all people? He's an assassin that's messing with time. Don't tell him. Kakarot's trying to mess with time himself. Well, no, not exactly. Kakarot just says that the two of them have a similar upbringing in terms of training to be an assassin. Granted, he doesn't know anything about Hit's upbringing or anything beyond the fact that he's an assassin, but still, Kakarot has an idea. He wants to train under Hit, or at the very least, spar with him. It's the next natural step for him. Well, as long as he's not messing with time, Beerus assumes that it won't hurt. Hit is over 1,000 years old after all, so maybe there are some things he could teach Kakarot. Though he doesn't get why he doesn't just want to stay with Whis, and he does. He's just going to do this temporarily. You know, just to see if there's anything else he could pick up on in terms of being an assassin. Not that he's really an assassin anymore, but all those abilities are pretty helpful when it comes to fighting in general, so Hit's definitely the best person to check with in regards to that. But he's only letting him go for a limited amount of time, only about half a year. If he doesn't show any improvement, he's immediately coming back to train under Whis, and he's going to have to make up for the lost time. That's fine with him. As long as he grows stronger, that's all he cares about. He seeks out Hit to train with him, and it's a lot easier said than done. It's not like Champa or Vados are going to help out, so Kakarot actually has to find him himself. This takes a few weeks, but eventually, he's able to locate Hit. Hit thinks that Kakarot's here to kill him or something, but no, he's actually here to train with him. Really? That leaves Hit just as confused as Beerus was. He's never been a teacher, but for a price, he doesn't see why he can't do that. I mean, it would be work for him. All he cares about is getting paid in the end, so if Kakarot has the money, he doesn't mind. Oh, well, Kakarot doesn't really have money. Okay, so how can he get money in Universe 6? Hit says that he's going to have to take up his own mercenary jobs. Consider it an initiation too. Getting money's the first step, and then paying Hit's the second step. Sure, whatever he says. Kakarot racks his mind trying to figure out what to do, and eventually decides to go to planet Sadala. Cabba's there, and he remembers that he was in the military apparently. They didn't really interact much during the tournament, but Kakarot did talk to him beforehand, so maybe Cabba will know something. And Cabba's glad to see Kakarot, and it's really weird that he came here and is immediately looking for a job. But Kakarot explains what he's doing, and that sounds kind of crazy, but Cabba will help him out. He might be able to get some mercenary work for the Sadala Defense Force because that is who Cabba works for. And he's not looking to do anything long, just any quick job that he could do. Well, Cabba says they do need to go after Frost now, so if Kakarot can capture him, he'll get a nice bounty. Easy enough for Kakarot. He spends a few days, and he locates Frost, defeating him pretty easily and bringing him back alive. They're all amazed at how quick he worked, and Frost doesn't even know how this guy got here. He thought he was from Universe 7. King Sadala wanted him to face justice, but it's not like anyone's really strong enough to go up against him, so it's probably better off if they just got rid of him. He is a genocidal psychopath after all, so Kakarot's up for the job. And he kills Frost. Weird, this is like the first true mercenary job that he's done. He's got to tell Tao when he gets back. Kakarot gets a nice payday out of this, and he gains status among the Saiyans here. He's very well respected for his strength, though he's clearly different from everyone in Universe 6. There are 2 Saiyans that actually do want to speak to him, but Kakarot's long gone by the time that they even get the chance to speak with him. It's Caulifla, Dragon Kale along too. Caulifla heard that apparently this guy was a really strong Saiyan, so she wanted to figure out how to become strong just like that. Hopefully he comes back to this planet someday, because for now, that just leaves Cabba as one of the strongest. And Kakarot's really happy. That was a pretty fun job, and also he got a ton of money for it. Frost was a renowned criminal after all, and technically he did a good thing. Not that he really cares about that part. All that matters is that he got a good experience out of it, and now he could finally train under Hit. He finds Hit, tells him exactly what he did, and Hit's pretty impressed. Frost was relatively strong. Of course, not comparable to Hit, and not even comparable to Kakarot either. But still, the fact that he tracked him down that quickly, and was able to kill him with ease, it's good. He shows promise. And he has a bunch of money now, even more than Hit asked for to train him. Kakarot's already wasted about 2 months here in this universe, first trying to find Hit, and then trying to find a job and get money. So he trains with Hit for about 4 months, and it actually does make him strong enough so that when Beerus comes to pick him up, he can see Kakarot's grown a significant amount. And you know what? He's impressed. He lets Kakarot train further, although he's only going to give him another 6 months. Then he's going to have to return to Whis, and they're going to keep working on what Whis was teaching him. Not to mention, Beerus says it's not really the same with just the other Saiyans there. Of the 3 training under Whis, Vegeta's the strongest, and all of them are trying to surpass Kakarot, but without him there, it's a little bit of a strange situation. But the mystery also makes them train even harder because, who knows, Kakarot could be so far beyond them by now that if they don't take things seriously, they'll never catch up. But at the moment, those 3 are the main students for Whis right now. And they look forward to Kakarot's return, but Beerus tells them to enjoy Universe 6 for the time being. And this actually works out perfectly. By the time Kakarot comes back, Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa immediately want to fight him to figure out how strong he's gotten, but there's an announcement from Zeno. Looks like they won't even need to fight. They'll get to see Kakarot's strength in a new tournament, the Tournament of Power. The issue is, this time they need a team of 10, and they only have a few days to gather people. Well, that's not too hard. They already have 5 right off the bat, just the same crew that joined the last tournament: Kakarot, Raditz, Nappa, Vegeta, and Krillin. Plus, all of them must have grown a lot stronger, so the team's looking pretty good already. They still need 5 more though. Okay, well, Kakarot thinks they should recruit Tao. That's pretty obvious. Then there's also that Tien guy. Krillin vouches for him too, and also says they should recruit Piccolo. So that makes 8. And you know what? Kakarot says that Krillin should be the leader here. He is Guardian of Earth, and he definitely knows a lot more strong people than Kakarot does. Like, for Kakarot, it's quality over quantity, but Krillin definitely knows more in quantity. Alright, that's kind of a backhanded compliment for the Earthlings, but whatever. Although, Krillin's idea of who to recruit next isn't actually an Earthling. Actually, neither of the choices he has are Earthlings. And Vegeta can't believe he didn't think of it. Krillin first recruits Nail on Namek, and, on the same planet, he recruits Tapion. Krillin barely knows Tapion, and he doesn't really know Nail too well, but he's interacted with him enough where Nail would definitely want to help. And Tapion's grateful for everyone's help against Rudigarn, so he's gonna join. Not to mention, they're trying to defend the universe after all, so of course he's gonna want to help. Now, not many of them know who Nail is besides the people from Earth, and no one really knows who Tapion is besides Vegeta. And Vegeta did meet Nail too. Raditz and Nappa wonder how Vegeta knows those guys, and Vegeta says it's a long story. Neither of them are as strong as him, but still, he quietly says to himself that he remembers them being good warriors. He says it just quietly enough so no one hears the compliment. Well, Kakarot thinks this is a really interesting team because they have 2 people that they barely know how to fight with, and then the Saiyans kinda do their own thing. Plus, there's the people from Earth, and Tao kinda operates on his own too. Krillin, Tien, and Piccolo should at least work well together. But back on Earth, Blue is pretty bummed because he wanted to join the tournament, and I'm sure Yamcha is too. But for Blue, at least he has a job going right now. The android that Heto's developing is coming along pretty well. It's actually nearly complete. He doesn't tell anyone here about the tournament, but had the tournament come a little bit later, who knows, maybe he could have joined and that android could have joined too. But now, the Tournament of Power begins. Though Universe 7's team is pretty weird in terms of who's on the roster, it is pretty powerful. Krillin is far stronger than he is in the main story. I'd say Tien is too. For Tao, that goes without saying as well. Besides Krillin, he's actually the strongest human. As for Piccolo, he's definitely going to be weaker than where he was normally, and I'd say Nail's around his level. For Tapion, it's kind of weird to place where he'd be. Over these years on Namek, he definitely would want to grow a lot stronger, especially after what just happened with Rudigarn. If there were any threats that he had to face, he wanted to be strong enough to win. So he took training very seriously. I'd say he's just below Krillin's level. Of course, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all have Super Saiyan Blue by now. And as for Kakarot, that's also his highest form. For Vegeta, we'll say he's around the same strength as Vegeta in the main story. Even though so many things went different, I don't think that's really unreasonable. Raditz and Nappa are below him, but not by a significant amount. As for Kakarot, well, he's so far ahead in terms of his training, and he's an android. Plus, his training with Hit actually helped him pick up some new abilities. In terms of strength, even with just Super Saiyan Blue, I'd say he's noticeably stronger than Goku from the main story. One thing that he never realized is that Super Saiyan 4 actually drew out some of his potential. So despite him not even using that form anymore, unlocking that form alone kind of boosted him in a way. He's trying to see what's beyond Super Saiyan Blue right now. He was thinking maybe trying to combine it with Super Saiyan 4 somehow. It would just be God plus Super Saiyan plus Great Ape. But he hasn't gotten around to it. For Vegeta, he's been trying to go beyond Blue in his own way. And he did want to try and get Super Saiyan 4 for himself, but he gave up on that. Though as the tournament continues, he can clearly see that Kakarot's already way beyond him, and he's only going to continue to keep growing. For Universe 6, since Frost is dead, I have no clue who they get on their team as the next person. Not like it's really going to matter because it's probably going to be someone weak anyways. You know what? It's Botama's twin sister, Botama. Real ones remember Toppo and Topet. Not too long into the tournament, Kakarot ends up facing Hit. Even though Hit trained him, and he's grown fond of Kakarot, still, Kakarot's an obstacle to him. They're both fighting for their own survival. And Kakarot's fine with fighting Hit here. But Kakarot makes a promise with Hit. Whoever dies has to revive the other. And Hit's fine with that. But he tells Kakarot not to hold anything back. And he won't. The two of them begin their fight. And with the battle being full power, Kakarot significantly overpowers Hit. Pretty quickly into their training, Hit realized that Kakarot was actually stronger than him physically. Most of their training relied on giving Kakarot new techniques. And Kakarot does use some of them here, using time abilities similar to Hit. He can't use them as well as Hit can, but still is a huge advantage against any opponent. The gods are all appalled seeing this, and Beerus nearly loses his mind too. He told Kakarot not to mess with time, but of course that's exactly what he was learning in Universe 6. Though Zeno thinks it's kind of cool, so he allows it. And Beerus breathes a sigh of relief, so does Champa. Kakarot ends up defeating Hit, and he'll keep his promise. He'll win, and he'll revive all the strong warriors he has to defeat. He's about to go fight the Saiyans too, but Raditz and Nappa have already got that handled, while Vegeta's aiming pretty high. He goes for Jiren. That of course isn't really going to turn out well. With Super Saiyan Blue he thinks he'll be able to make a dent, but he barely makes Jiren flinch. Raditz and Nappa actually defeat the other Saiyans pretty quickly. Thankfully, Kale doesn't go berserk here, and they join in with Vegeta. It's so strange for him to be fighting alongside them. He's so used to fighting on his own. Not to mention, he never thought he'd team up with them in general. Not just in the sense that he's fighting alongside them right now, but the fact that he's even an ally with them. Frankly, he thought they'd stay dead forever. But you know, this isn't so bad. Universe 7 is doing pretty well during the rest of the tournament. Krillin faces Toppo, and Tapion's alongside him. Nail fights along Piccolo, and they face the Universe 6 Namekians, though they end up losing because those two are actually a lot stronger. But they aren't knocked out right away. Tao comes in to save them. And Tien helps too. It's a 4v2, and they end up defeating those two. Kakarot wants to fight Jiren, but he'll let Vegeta have his fun. Jiren pretty quickly defeats Vegeta, as well as Raditz and Nappa. Beerus gets really worried because he just lost 3 of his strongest warriors. Those were number 2, 3, and 4 in terms of strength. They're gonna have to rely on Kakarot to defeat Jiren. So Kakarot slowly walks up to him, starting out in base and immediately jumping into Super Saiyan 4. This gets his blood pumping, and then while he's Super Saiyan 4, he transforms into his Super Saiyan Blue. It doesn't combine the forms, it simply swaps them. But he's noticed that when he does this, it retains some of the power of Super Saiyan 4 just for a little bit, giving him a nice boost. And he tries to fight Jiren at a range, coaxing him to launch a blast at him. And it works. Jiren tries to knock Kakarot out of the ring with a powerful blast, and Kakarot immediately throws both his hands in front of him, absorbing the attack. This fully recovers him. He didn't lose much stamina fighting Hit, but this blast puts him at 100%, and he has a little bit of overcharge too. That attack from Jiren was pretty powerful. He is a bit nervous, but it's nothing he can't handle. The two of them begin clashing at full power. Even with just Super Saiyan Blue, he's able to contend with Jiren, but Jiren is still suppressed right now. And remember, Kakarot also has a little bit of overcharge from Jiren's attack, and that fleeting power from Super Saiyan 4. But the fight eventually reaches its end. Even with Kakarot using Time Skip, and trying to trap Jiren in a time cage, it doesn't work. And Jiren doesn't use any Ki Blast here either. He shows off his full power, and is able to defeat Kakarot. But before Kakarot's knocked out of the ring, Tao then jumps in to try and attack Jiren. Of course, his attacks do nothing. He is pretty powerful, but compared to Jiren, he's nothing. Jiren has to hold back his power just to not kill Tao on accident, but he notices something weird. Tao's movements are so precise, and Beerus is really confused too. It's almost like he's using Ultra Instinct, but no, that doesn't make sense. And he isn't. But Tao is using similar principles here. He's honed his body so well that it basically moves on its own at this point. Not fully, but just enough so he could avoid Jiren's attacks. He's analyzed them so well, and he can anticipate every attack that's coming his way. Though, he's defeated pretty quickly. For his final attack, he charges all of his ki. He grabs the pillar in the middle of the ring, lifts it up, and then spins it around, tossing it right at Jiren, jumping on top, trying to use it as a battering ram of sorts. But Jiren grabs it with one hand, and sends his ki flying through it, basically turning it into a stick of dynamite. Tao is knocked out of the ring. But it was just enough of a distraction for Kakarot. Seeing this, and trying to focus on his own, while also remembering Whis' training, something finally clicks with Kakarot. His aura flares up significantly. He's not in Super Saiyan Blue anymore. His hair is black, but something's different about it. Tao watches on from the stands. He has no clue what this is, but Kakarot's body is starting to move on its own, far more precisely than Tao could do. And it's not just his defense, it's his offense too. Whis and Beerus are both mind blown. He's done it. He's unlocked Ultra Instinct. This is just the first stage of it though, but still, it's Ultra Instinct nonetheless. Combining it with the fact that Kakarot can use time control now, and the fact that he's notably stronger than Goku is, he's the ultimate warrior at this point, the strongest person in the ring. He defeats Jiren, and he still has a little bit of juice left in it. Before knocking Jiren out of the ring, he says this is nothing personal, but he's going to take some power to ensure that he gets his wish. He puts a hand on Jiren and absorbs some energy directly, before knocking him out of the ring. This gives him a second wind, fueling the newly acquired Ultra Instinct, as Kakarot quickly dashes around the ring, eliminating the rest of the opponents with ease. And just as he defeats the last one, he drops out of Ultra Instinct, incredibly tired, but victorious. And he gets to make his wish, revive all the other universes, not just as a promise to Hit, but he wants to see all the other strong warriors again. It could be an interesting opportunity. I mean, look how it turned out when he visited Universe 6. Who knows what the other universes have in store. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What do you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me when I see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.